They say rivers carry the memories of the dead. When Daniel swam in the forbidden waters, something old remembered him. Daniel had always been drawn to the wilderness. On a solo hiking trip in South America, he ignored the locals' warnings about the nameless river, a body of water said to consume those who entered it. He thought it was just a legend. He was wrong. The river was beautiful, crystal clear, reflecting the sky like a mirror. The moment he stepped into the water, a deep chill spread through him. Something shifted beneath the surface. That night, he woke up gasping. His lungs burned as if he had been drowning. His skin was damp. And outside his tent, the river was whispering. The next day, Daniel found footprints in the mud near his campsite. Bare feet, too many of them. He checked his phone, flipping through the photos he had taken. His stomach clenched. In the reflection of the river, there were figures standing behind him. That night, he dreamed of them. Faces half submerged, eyes open, mouths moving silently. Pleading. Then he woke up. But his body was still lying in the tent. He was watching himself sleep. Paralyzed, Daniel's vision blurred as his reflection in the river twisted. It wasn't a reflection anymore. It was him, but waterlogged, decayed, reaching out. A voice gurgled through his mind. "You swam where the dead rest." His other self lunged, pulling him downward, into the water, into the darkness, into memory. Daniel struggled, thrashing against the current, but the water held him fast. Faces loomed all around him now, their eyes hollow and knowing. They had been waiting. He sank deeper. The riverbed stretched impossibly far below, filled with the remnants of those who had been here before him. Bones broken and worn smooth by time littered the depths. The voices of the drowned wrapped around him, whispering their stories, their regrets. Then silence. Daniel opened his eyes. He was standing on the shore, drenched and shivering, though he did not remember crawling out. His tent was gone. His belongings were gone. Only the river remained, flowing as it always had. But something was different. He turned to leave, but his shadow remained cast in the water. It watched him. His heart pounded. He stepped forward, and so did the reflection, only it wasn't perfectly synchronized anymore. It hesitated. Its lips parted. "Let me out!" Daniel ran. His pulse roared in his ears as the whispers followed him, growing louder with every step. By the time rescuers found his abandoned campsite days later, there was no sign of him. Only his phone remained, buried in the mud, still recording. The sound of rushing water filled the last few seconds. Then, faintly, a voice, gurgling, pleading, "Help." Rivers never forget. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and turn on notifications, but be careful where you swim. Some waters are not meant for the living.